I'm joined here with Constable Michael Hagel, and he is with the Lloydminster RCMP. Now, back to school time is just around the corner. What are some tips that you would give students to stay safe around this time?
As always, when you're crossing the street, make sure you're looking both ways. Left, right, and then left again. Just double checking that you're making sure you are seeing cars coming.
And what are some tips for parents around this time as well?
School buses are going to be going again, and watch out for those the red stop arm on the school bus. Make sure you're watching out for little ones crossing the street because, like we all know, they're not really paying attention.
And what are some tips for students who may be biking to school?
Wear a helmet, wear a helmet, wear a helmet. If you are going to cross the street, make sure you get off your bicycle and push it across the street so you are a pedestrian.
And maybe for drivers who aren't aware, what are some penalties if they are, speeding in a school zone or something like that?
So right now there's a zero tolerance policy in the city of Lloydminster for speeding in school zones. Anyone exceeding its maximum speed limit of 30 kilometers per hour will see either pulled over by a police officer or stopped by photo radar.
And around this time of year, do you see more photo radar and tickets being handed out?
It depends. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes you will, just because everyone is not used to the playground and school zones being back in effect. So you might see a small uptick, but for the most part, people are pretty aware of the school zones.
And what should drivers keep an eye out for? You mentioned students running across the road, but what are some other things that they might want to look out for?
Well, make sure you are watching the school buses. Make sure you're being very aware of where the bus stops are in the city. Make sure you are aware when you are going through a school zone that kids are very excited to be home, to be back at school, and they want to see their friends. They might be darting onto the road. Make sure you're just pushing your eyes down the road, looking between vehicles and watching out for pedestrians.
And is there any tips that the RCMP are saying at this time in terms of COVID and just things like that around like playgrounds or things such as that?
Make sure that you are maintaining your social distancing and wash your hands when you come in. We've been very fortunate in Lloydminster that we haven't seen too many COVID cases, but I think that's because we're doing our part to keep apart.
And is there anything else that you really think that you want to add?
You betcha. If you're riding your bike to school this year, make sure you are wearing that helmet. Make sure you are looking both ways when you cross the street. Get off that bike to cross that crosswalk. And drivers, slow down a little bit in those school zones.
Thanks for
Perfect.
joining us today, Constable Hagel.
Thanks, Jasmine.